Thanks for clicking on Wayne.com. I'm Andy McDonald, sitting in for Glenn Marini, joined by Blake Sebring of the News Sentinel.
New guy. We got to break in the rookie.
I tried to class up the joint a little bit with the suit and tie, but you're still looking good over there, Blake.
Doesn't work.
And speaking of looking good, the Komets this weekend, 6 points. How big of a weekend was it to get all 6?
It was the way they did it that was more important than the all 6. I mean, going out and really hammering Indy and Wichita and successive nights, and then they had to step up their game some more on Sunday and beat a good Wheeling team and play well to do it. That was important. That was probably their 3 best back-to-back games all this summer, all year.
And that last one, obviously, after the game, we were talking to the coach, and he said he kind of challenged his team, and you kind of saw it. How much did they take that to heart?
You could tell they did. I mean, because they've had so many one-goal games lately, and they're like 9 times now they've had to come back from 2 goals or more deficit each time to get a point, or they've won 6 of them. And it's like, the problem has been all year is like, why are you playing with these guys? You know, I mean, some of these guys, some of these teams you should be pounding, and that's kind of what he challenged them on, and they really did respond, and it was kind of nice to see.
Isn't that the trademark of a good team, to kind of figure it out, take what the coaches give you, and improve from that?
Well, and it's that time of year too, Andy. I mean, you really got to get going right now. There's 17 games left. This is where you start ramping up, so you eliminate the little problems, so you can really focus in and get ready for the playoffs.
And speaking of getting physical, in the second period, Sean Sidlowski kind of gets jammed into his own goal, and he did say after the game that it kind of got him going, and the head coach also said that the physicality of that second period got them going. How physical did it seem for you yesterday?
Well, he said, this is by today's standards, okay? Yes. So he said in the second period they had 13 hits, which was a season high. Yeah. It used to be that was like half of what you'd get in a period, you know what I mean? But it was a big period for that, because I felt like Wheeling really tried to step up on them once they got up 2-0. And the Komets came back really strong, and that was great to see. They didn't get their head down. They didn't think, we already got 2 wins this weekend. We can just do this, you know. But they did really well. And, yeah, Sean, you haven't seen Sean fight yet. Sean's like, you don't want to get him mad.
The Gordie Howe hat trick, you were talking about that in the press conference. And
he's got 5 of them, yeah. And it's just, it's funny because Gordie Howe only had 2 his whole career, you know. I mean,
so Sean's coming in big. And talk a little bit about that line, because Sean Sidlowski, obviously, and Trevor Cheek there, he got 7 goals over the weekend. How big of a performance did he have over the weekend?
It was fun watching all 3 of them, though, because you really do have to have all 3 of them to make it work. All 3 guys have extensive time in the American League, and it really shows. And their speed is really a big factor, too, because the opposing defenses really don't know how to handle them yet. It'll be interesting to see this weekend when Wheeling comes back for 2 more to see how they adjust and try to figure out those guys. But like Gary said, Desjardins is the key. Yeah. The other guys are always going to get their shots. They're always going to get their points. But Desjardins makes them take the next level. Yeah. I mean, he's very, very good at getting in on the offensive zone and digging out the puck and creating chaos for the defense. And it was fun to watch him. It's a lot of fun to watch.
And after the game, Coach called Gabriel Gopher. Kind of explain what that means and what makes him so good at being a Gopher.
Yeah. The Gopher is essentially the hustle guy. I mean, he's the guy that's in the zone first. He's the guy that's harassing the defense. He's the one that's forcing the turnovers or digging the puck out in the corner. And he's the guy when you dump and chase, he's the chaser, essentially. Okay. You know, and he's really good at positioning his body and angling his body into the checks so that it's really a hard thing for the defenseman to handle.
And when you have those 2 speed guys and obviously Desjardins as well, how good is that line with Sidlowski and Cheek and him?
We're going to find out this weekend. Okay. I mean, it's kind of neat because, you know, this is their first 3-4 games together. Yeah. Now, Wheeling will have a chance to make some adjustments over this week before they play them again twice. So that'll be interesting to see how they do with that and what kind of adjustments this line may make, you know, to whatever Wheeling does.
It'll be interesting to see how they play this weekend, especially with the time off. And I know, like Glenn having some time off, it's probably good for the body a little bit. How important is that time off for them?
Well, we all know Glenn needs time off. It's just, you know,
that's okay.
Brutal. Yeah.
We're not going to judge Glenn too
you know,
much.
He works 5 days a week, and he starts to get a bad back, and it's awful. But I think the biggest game of the week for the Komets is going to be Saturday night because they've had all that time off. People who've been around, we all know the Komets tend to start slow in that situation, and it might take them a period and a half to get going. You can't do that against a good team like Wheeling. This will be fascinating to see how they come out Saturday night and what kind of effort they have and just the tempo that they set.
All right, Blake, and I got one more question because I'm obviously a new guy to Fort Wayne, and the Komets aren't something that I'm used to covering. What makes the Komets so special to the people here in Fort Wayne?
The Komets are Fort Wayne's team. They're the team that throughout their 65 years we haven't had to share with other teams. Like, they haven't had major affiliations for the most part. They are not somebody's farm club usually. They are Fort Wayne's favorite team because the players all stay here. There's 75 former Komets that live here, and there's another 150 who are here 4 or 5 times a year visiting and coming to see a game. And the former players are all coaching our kids. It really is, the community adopted them, and the players all stayed. They married local girls. They found jobs here after they were done. They really are part of the fabric of the community. And we got the funky name spelling with the K. I mean, it's like people know who the Komets are across the country too. And it really is something that it's all ours.
That's definitely right. And the Komets, obviously, the jungle, and they have the Eagle mascot. It's kind of a funny contradiction there for a guy that's not there. So it's fun, and it was great last night to see him. And thanks again.
Yeah, you got to see a good game.
I did. It was a good one, and hopefully they turn that one in on next weekend.
I'm really looking forward to the Friday or Saturday, Sunday games because it's going to be 2 good games again. 2 teams that really want points and are playing a little desperate and playing pretty well. I mean, that was a good Sunday game. I can't wait for the next 2.
All right. Thanks so much, and tune in next Monday. We'll have much more from Inside the Zone.